My friend is about to ask his girlfriend to marry him, but I'm the only one who knows how unfaithful she is. Do I say anything? He pulled the ring box out of his jacket pocket, smiling at me like a kid showing off a secret he couldn't wait to share. I'm asking her tonight, he whispered. Dinner at the rooftop place. I've been planning this for months. I felt my stomach flip so hard it nearly made me sick, because as he spoke, all I could see in my head was her. Not with him, not smiling at him, but wrapped up in someone else's arms, laughing, touching, kissing like she'd never kissed him in her life. My best friend was about to propose to a woman I knew had been cheating on him for months, and I was the only one who knew. Do I tell him right now, risk destroying his dream night and maybe our entire friendship? Or do I stay quiet and let him walk into the worst trap of his life? I opened my mouth, my throat went dry, and that's when she walked in. Smiling, radiant, like the picture of perfect love. But the text I'd seen from her just yesterday, "I can't wait to see you again, don't tell him," burned in the back of my brain. And the ring box was already in his hand. Here's how it started before this moment. I've been friends with Ryan since we were kids. We grew up 2 streets apart, played basketball together in high school, and even went to the same college for a year before I dropped out to work. Ryan's one of those people everyone likes. He's kind, hardworking, never judges anyone, and always has your back. He's the type of guy you'd want your sister to date. Which is why I was happy at first when he met Melissa. She was pretty, smart, funny in that sharp kind of way, and she seemed to genuinely like him. At least, that's what I thought. They started dating about 2 years ago, and from the outside, it looked like a fairy tale. They traveled together, posted those cheesy couple goals photos, and Ryan constantly talked about how lucky he was. Honestly, I was jealous sometimes. But then, things started to shift. The first time I noticed something off was last winter. I ran into Melissa downtown when Ryan was supposed to be at work. She wasn't alone. She was with some guy I didn't know, and they were very close. I mean, hands on her waist, whispering in her ear close. When she saw me, she jumped back like she'd been burned. She made up some excuse about it being her cousin visiting from out of town. I wanted to believe her. Really, I did. But the look in her eyes wasn't guilt like you'd expect. It was fear, like she was scared of me saying something. After that, I started noticing little things. She'd disappear for long stretches and claim she was working late. She'd text with her phone turned away from Ryan. She got defensive if he asked where she'd been. And sometimes, when we were all hanging out, she'd barely look at him. But the real confirmation came a few months ago. Ryan had asked me to help him move some boxes from his storage unit. He gave me his house key because he was running late from work. I let myself in, and while I was waiting, I went to grab a soda from the fridge. That's when I saw her phone on the counter, buzzing with messages. I didn't mean to look, but one notification lit up the screen and I froze. It was from a guy named Z. The message said, "Last night was perfect. I don't know how much longer you can keep the secret, but I'll take whatever time I can get with you." My hands were shaking. I looked again, more texts. "Can't wait to see you tonight. You looked so good in my bed." I nearly dropped the phone. I shouldn't have been the one to see that, but I did, and now I can't unsee it. Since then, I've been stuck in this nightmare. Do I tell Ryan and crush him, or do I stay quiet and let him keep living this lie? And now, here I am, sitting across from him, watching him, holding that ring box, listening to him talk about proposing to her tonight. And she just walked into the room, kissing his cheek like nothing's wrong. And I swear she looked at me, straight into my eyes, like she knows I know. Do I stop this before it goes too far? Or am I already too late? Because he's opening the box right now, and she's smiling, and I can't breathe. Dinner was supposed to be perfect. That's what Ryan kept saying all afternoon. "She has no idea," he whispered to me as we walked into the restaurant. "I've been saving for this for months. She thinks it's just a normal date night, but I booked the rooftop." The rooftop, the one with string lights and glass walls overlooking the whole city, the kind of place people post about with captions like, "She said yes." And all I could think was, she doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve him. Melissa walked beside him, arm tucked around his. She was radiant, I'll give her that. Perfect dress, perfect hair, perfect fake laugh that had Ryan glowing. But when her eyes flicked to me, just for a second, there was that same look I'd seen before. Fear. Or maybe it was warning. Like she was silently telling me, don't say a word. The night started harmless enough. Drinks, appetizers, them sharing bites off each other's plates. Ryan kept sneaking little smiles at me, like he wanted me to be part of the moment, like I was his witness, his proof that this was real. And it hurt, because I knew what was real. But then, for a while, I almost forgot. Ryan was laughing, Melissa was leaning into him, and for a split second, it looked like they were truly in love. I thought, maybe I imagined it. Maybe the texts, the guy downtown, all of it has some explanation I just don't understand. But then, her phone buzzed. It was face up on the table beside her wine glass. The screen lit up for a second before she snatched it away. But I saw it. Z, call me when you can. I miss you. My chest felt like it was caving in. Ryan didn't notice. He was busy talking to the waiter, ordering dessert. Melissa slid the phone back into her clutch without a word, smiling sweetly like nothing had happened. That was the moment I knew. It wasn't in my head. She wasn't just making mistakes or having cousin time. She was living a double life, and my best friend was sitting here about to hand her everything he had. Dessert came. Chocolate souffle, Ryan's favorite. He barely touched it. He was too nervous. He kept fidgeting with his pocket. Then it happened. The lights above dimmed just slightly, music shifted soft, and Ryan pushed back his chair. "Melissa," he said, standing. I froze. My fork clattered onto the plate. Melissa gasped, covering her mouth, eyes wide, like she hadn't seen this coming. But I caught it. The smallest flicker in her gaze, sideways, toward me. Like she was saying again, "Don't ruin this." Ryan dropped to one knee. The ring box opened. The whole rooftop seemed to hold its breath. I could feel my pulse in my ears, my throat, my fingertips. This is it. This is the moment. Do I stop him? Do I tell him? Melissa leaned forward, already tearing up, ready to say yes. And before I could even move, before I could decide, a voice rang out behind me. Deep, male, angry. "Melissa, what the hell are you doing?" The entire rooftop froze. Forks hung midair. Conversations cut off. Even the music seemed to choke on itself. Ryan was still on one knee, staring up at Melissa, who suddenly looked like she'd been caught stealing. Her tears dried instantly. "Melissa?" Ryan said slowly, blinking. "Do you know him?" She didn't answer. The man stepped closer, his face red, his voice low but shaking with fury. He was tall, broad-shouldered, maybe in his early 30s. His eyes locked on Melissa like she was the only person in the world. "You weren't answering my calls. You told me you were working tonight." The words felt like a hammer slamming against my chest. Ryan shot to his feet. The ring box clattered onto the floor, the diamond bouncing once before rolling under another table. "Who the hell are you?" Ryan demanded. No one moved. Guests craned their necks, waiters hovered uncertainly. Melissa's lips parted, but no sound came out. Her hands trembled against her dress, like she was trying to piece together a lie, but her brain couldn't work fast enough. "Tell him, Melissa," the man growled. "Tell him who I am." And then, silence. I swear the whole city went quiet in that moment. It was just Ryan, Melissa, the stranger, and me. Finally, Melissa whispered, He's just a friend." The man laughed, bitter, ugly. "A friend? Is that what you call someone you spend 3 nights a week with? A friend?" Ryan staggered back like he'd been punched. His hand went to the back of his chair, gripping it so hard his knuckles went white. I wanted to grab him, to say something, to finally unload the truth I'd been choking on for months, but I was paralyzed. Melissa's eyes darted to me, not pleading anymore, threatening. Like if I opened my mouth, I'd regret it forever. Ryan turned to me then, his best friend, his brother in everything but blood. "Do you know about this?" His voice cracked. "Tell me you don't know about this." I opened my mouth. The words were right there, boiling, ready to burst out. But Melissa slammed her palm on the table so hard the glasses shook. "Enough," she shouted, her mask shattering into something I'd never seen before, sharp, vicious. "You don't understand, Ryan. He doesn't matter. You're the one I love. He's nothing." The man's face darkened. "Nothing?" He took a step closer. Chairs scraped as other guests backed away. "Melissa, you..." But before he could finish, Ryan lunged forward and shoved him. The man stumbled back, crashing into a table, sending plates and wine glasses flying. Guests screamed. The whole rooftop exploded into chaos. And in that split second of madness, Melissa grabbed Ryan's arm, clinging to him, sobbing, screaming, "It's not what you think." Her voice echoed through the rooftop, raw and desperate. But I saw her eyes, cold, calculating. She wasn't crying for him. She was crying to keep control. And Ryan, he froze, torn between love and betrayal, staring down at the woman he thought he knew. That's when Ryan turned to me again. "Tell me the truth, right now." Everyone was watching. My mouth went dry. This was it, the moment I couldn't run from. And then, Melissa said something so shocking, so sharp, it cut through everything else like glass. Words I'll never forget. "If you tell him, I'll make sure he hates you forever." The rooftop was chaos, but all I could see were 3 faces. Ryan's, pale, sweating, his whole world spinning apart. Melissa's, wet cheeks, trembling lips, but eyes that burned holes through me. And the stranger's, seething, trying to fight past the waiters who were now holding him back. And me, stuck in the middle. Ryan's voice cut through the noise. "Tell me, right now, did you know?" Melissa squeezed his arm like a vice. "Don't listen to him, baby. He's jealous. He's always been jealous of us." I felt my chest cave in. "What?" Melissa turned her glare on me. Her voice shifted, soft, broken, the kind of tone that would make anyone feel guilty. "He's always tried to ruin things for us, Ryan. He can't stand seeing you happy. He's making this up, I swear." Ryan's eyes flicked between us. "That's not true, is it?" I took a step forward. "Ryan, Think carefully," Melissa hissed, her words slicing only for me. "You tell him, and I'll tell him everything. Every little thing you've told me in confidence. How you hated that he got into med school when you didn't. How you said he was blind when it came to love. How you—" "Stop," I snapped, louder than I meant. Heads turned. Ryan's eyes widened. Melissa leaned into him, whispering loud enough for us both to hear. "See, he's angry. He doesn't want us together. He never has." The stranger shoved one waiter aside, nearly breaking free. "Melissa, tell him the truth. You said you were going to leave him." Ryan staggered like he'd been hit again. He grabbed the back of his chair, knuckles white. "Leave me?" Melissa whirled, her tears turning into fire. "He's lying. He's obsessed with me. Don't you see? He's stalking me, Ryan." Gasps from nearby tables. Whispers. Strangers judging. Ryan looked at me. "Please, please, just tell me you didn't know about any of this." My throat closed up. My mind screamed, "This is your moment. Say it. Save him." But Melissa's eyes, they cut through me like blades. "If you say it, you'll lose him forever." The weight of years of friendship sat heavy on my chest. Late night talks, video games until sunrise, him showing up for me when no one else did. If I told him now, would he ever forgive me for keeping it from him for so long? Would Melissa spin it so I was the villain anyway? I could feel my hands shaking. I croaked. Melissa's grip on Ryan's arm tightened. She pressed her forehead to his, sobbing now. "Don't listen to them. Don't listen to anyone. It's just you and me, baby. You and me against the world." The stranger roared. "She's been lying to you for months." Ryan shouted, voice breaking. "Shut up!" The rooftop went dead silent again. Even the clinking of plates stopped. He turned back to me, his eyes, bloodshot, desperate, begging, locked on mine. "Please, I need the truth." My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst through my ribs. This was it, the moment everything would burn. And just as the words finally pushed their way up my throat, Melissa did something that shattered everything. She turned her head and kissed Ryan. Not a desperate save me kiss, not an I'm sorry kiss. A claim, a mark, a reminder to both of us, he's mine. Ryan froze, torn between fury and love, betrayal and loyalty. His hands trembled at his sides. When she pulled back, her voice was barely a whisper, but everyone heard it. "If you trust me, you'll walk away with me right now." And Ryan, my best friend, the guy I thought I knew better than anyone, actually took a step toward her. My stomach dropped. I realized in that instant, I wasn't just fighting to tell the truth. I was fighting against the kind of power that doesn't let go easily. And then Ryan said something I'll never forget. "I don't know who to believe anymore." Ryan's words hung in the air like a sentence. I don't know who to believe anymore. Melissa gripped his arm like she owned him. Her eyes were locked on me, daring me to speak, daring me to ruin everything. The stranger shoved past the waiter, holding him back. His voice cracked with rage. "Believe this, man. She's been sleeping with me for months. She told me she loved me. She told me she was leaving you." Ryan whipped toward him, face twisted with fury. "Shut your mouth." He shoved a table out of the way, dishes shattering on the floor. People gasped and scattered, the rooftop suddenly a battlefield. Melissa cried louder, throwing herself between them. "He's lying. He's obsessed with me. Ryan, you're all I want. Don't let him poison us." I couldn't take it anymore. My chest felt like it was going to explode. My throat burned. "Ryan!" I shouted, louder than I ever had in my life. Everyone stopped. My voice cracked as the words poured out. "She's lying to you. She's been cheating. For months. With him." I pointed at the stranger, whose eyes widened in shock that I'd finally spoken. And probably with others too. I didn't want to believe it at first, but I've seen the texts. I've seen her with him downtown. I kept it from you because I thought maybe she'd stop. Maybe I was wrong. But she hasn't stopped, Ryan. She never will. Melissa's face went white. Ryan stared at me like I'd stabbed him. His lips trembled. His hands shook. You knew?" The words cut deeper than anything else tonight. Melissa seized the moment, twisting the knife. See? He admits it. He's been trying to break us apart this whole time. He's jealous, Ryan. He's always wanted to be the one you leaned on. He'll say anything to make you hate me. No, I pleaded, stepping forward. That's not true. You know me. You know I'd never hurt you like this. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to lose you. But I can't watch you throw your life away for someone who doesn't love you back. Ryan looked between us, me, Melissa, the stranger, like he was drowning. Then Melissa grabbed his face in her hands, forcing him to look only at her. Baby, listen to me. It's just noise. It's always been you and me. Forget them. Forget all of this. You know I love you. You know it. The stranger laughed bitterly, his voice echoing across the silent rooftop. If that's love, then I'm the damn Pope. And then Ryan broke. With a roar, he shoved Melissa away, the force making her stumble back against the table. Gasps erupted around us. Don't touch me, he screamed, his voice cracking, raw. Tears streaked his face. He looked at me, then at Melissa, then back again. I don't know who to trust. I don't know what's real anymore. Melissa clawed forward, trying to grab his arm. Ryan, please. But he shook her off. Stay away from me. The stranger stepped up, fists clenched, ready to finish this in blood. I could see it, the rage in his eyes, the months of lies and promises breaking loose. And Ryan just collapsed into the nearest chair, burying his face in his hands. For a long, awful second, no one moved. Then, Melissa screamed. A sound so sharp and unhinged, it sent chills down my spine. She lunged at me, nails out like claws. You ruined everything, she shrieked. I stumbled back, nearly tripping over a chair. Waiters grabbed her, pulling her away as she kicked and flailed, screaming like a wild animal. He was mine! Mine! Her voice echoed as they dragged her toward the stairs. The stranger spit on the ground, muttering, good riddance. Then he stormed out too, shoving past the stunned crowd. And then it was just me and Ryan. He sat slumped, shoulders shaking. The ring box lay shattered on the floor between us. I knelt down, picking it up and placing it on the table beside him. I'm sorry, I whispered. I should have told you sooner. He didn't look at me. He didn't say a word. Just sat there, broken, in the ruins of what was supposed to be the happiest night of his life. And I realized, no matter what I'd done, no matter how much I wanted to protect him, he might never forgive me. Because I hadn't just exposed Melissa, I'd destroyed his entire world. 2 weeks later, Ryan stopped answering my calls. He ignored my texts, left me on read. The last time I saw him, he looked like a ghost. Hollow eyes, thin, barely speaking. I thought maybe he just needed space. Then, last night, scrolling through Instagram, I froze. Ryan had posted a photo, him and Melissa, smiling, her arms wrapped around his shoulders. The caption read, stronger than ever, nobody can tear us apart. My stomach turned, my hands shook so hard I dropped my phone. Because somehow, after everything, after the rooftop meltdown, the stranger, the truth laid bare, Melissa had wormed her way back into his life. And I knew then, she wasn't done. Not with him, and not with me.